Hello everyone, welcome to Grow Up, Level Up, an interview podcast where we talk to folks about the fun and games that helped us grow up. I'm Samson, and in this podcast, I do interviews with people and explore the childhood games, whether it's video games, tabletop games, playground games, and more, that helped them grow up and had an impact in their life. I also talk to them about the types of games and fun experiences that they choose to participate in today. The goal of this podcast is to highlight the importance that fun has in our lives and relationships, whether it's growing up, present day, or in the future. Without further ado, let's bring in our guest for this episode of Grow Up, Level Up. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this new episode of Grow Up, Level Up. Today, we have another very special guest joining us. But before we get into that, I just have to get through some housekeeping. So my name is Samson. Welcome to Grow Up, Level Up. It's a podcast where we talk to folks that either work in or outside the games industry about how we incorporate games into our day-to-day lives. Games are something that is kind of not as celebrated as movies or TV. So I wanted to highlight the stories of how people incorporate, whether it's video games, sports, tabletop games, how they incorporate that into their everyday life. So a couple other housekeeping. Podcast is now available everywhere. Did you know that? You can get it on any podcast service you want.
That's really exciting.
Make sure to follow on all the socials at Grow Up Level Up for any updates. I'm also starting a newsletter. So if you sign up at growuplevelup.substack.com and you sign up for our newsletter, I'll be posting behind the scenes stuff, kind of like maybe how did we set up this studio in a living room?
Live from my living room. This is
Live
great.
from the living room. That's right. So in a couple episodes, we're also going to be announcing the next stage of Grow Up, Level Up as well. So if you sign up for a newsletter, follow us on all the socials. You'll be up to date on that. And also don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, write what you think I could improve or what you liked about the episode. Enough of housekeeping. So today we're joined by one of my oldest friends again. She is a families counselor currently working for one of the most challenging parts in Metro Vancouver. She's also an Aussie Rules football player. And she's also a child and youth worker who's very passionate about her job. Her name is Marlena Holynski. Welcome to the show.
Yay!
Welcome. Yeah. If you caught it a little earlier, we are filming in Marlena's apartment.
Yeah.
This is not a studio, as you can tell.
But it has like really good vibes, you know?
Yeah, really good vibes. Like off screen, I see a guitar, lots of soft carpets around. It's very clean and warm lights in here. It's very nice. So if you want to know someone with warm vibes, Marlena's right here.
Rent my space here for the price of like a 6-pack of beer. You can use it for future episodes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Like an actual studio. You know, maybe we could. We get like the big studio lights up there, some soundproofing.
And you get like a neon sign.
Oh, a logo.
Some nice foliage on the side. Wow.
Wow. Something we'll talk about after the show, maybe in the newsletter. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So Marlena is here to talk about the games she plays. However, the game she plays is not necessarily like a video game or anything like that. It's actually a sport. And I mentioned it a little earlier. It's Aussie Rules football. I think there's another name for it. I think I'm getting it wrong.
I think you got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Aussie Rules.
Yeah, if you want to do official. Oh, it's Australian Rules Football.
Australian Rules Football. Okay.
Australian Football League. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And we'll share a little bit about all that. But in my opinion, sports are just games, aren't they? Like they're just rules that people made up to come together, to have some fun, to practice some skills. And then outside of it, in the real world stuff, it doesn't really matter. It does matter because we're practicing skills that we exercise outside the game in the real world. I'm getting ahead of myself, but Marlena, I'll let you introduce yourself. What are you and what do you do? Who are you and what do you do?
Oh my gosh. No, thank you. That was a really great introduction. I'll add, I also play rugby. So as long as I've been playing rugby, I've also been playing Australian football. So, and like you said, I'm a family counselor. I service the Maple Ridge and Pitt Meadows community here in the Lower Mainland, Vancouver. What else do I do? I don't know. Yeah, we went to school together. We did child and youth care degree. And actually earlier before we started this, we were both talking about starting our masters.
Yeah, the next step.
Next steps, what to do. Because this field that we work in is not the easiest. It has its challenges, definitely keeps me humble, but I don't know. I live here in Coquitlam. I love where we live. I don't know what else.
Metro Vancouver is very nice. Marlena and I went to school together for child and youth care counseling. That's where we met, and kind of we both work in different areas of that now. But yeah, like getting our masters is something that we're both contemplating. And that's like a big deal, but also a necessary deal too, I guess. Move on above the child and youth care counseling realm. You max out so easily on your wage here, and
Definitely.
there's not much higher until you get more education.
Yes.
Before we dive into that, though, I forgot to ask, what are you drinking today for the pod?
I was waiting for you to ask me that. Okay.
We're going wiggity whack all over here. It's late in the day. We both just worked full-time jobs. So it's the evening time.
So I haven't really been drinking alcohol lately, but I was like, this is a special occasion. And I found this really tasty cider. It's called Cunning Plan Cider Plan A.
Oh.
I know. It's
Plan
from
A.
Taves Estate Cidery in Abbotsford, BC. I've never heard of it. It was a staff pick at Jack's Liquor Store. If you can ever go there, they have the best selections, I think.
Cool.
And I love my cider with like a nice clinkly
It's true.
glass of ice.
If you're watching the video version, you can see we have our kind of drinks on display here. Very nice. More incentive for our audio listeners to go over to YouTube and check it out.
And what do you have?
Oh, thanks for asking.
You're
Nobody's
welcome.
ever asked me that. I was so generously gifted Chang classic beer from Thailand. Wow. This is fancy stuff. So I think it's like a nice light lager. It's something you'd have at the end of the day to relax, right?
Yeah. Should we cheers?
Yeah, let's cheers.
We're cheersing.
I hope that picked up.
Yeah.
That was nice. Cool.
Oh, so fresh.
Yeah, it's quite refreshing. It's a very nice day in Vancouver. So it's nice to have like a nice beer to end the day and all that.
Yeah, especially on a Monday. You know, people don't usually celebrate Mondays.
That's
I
true.
don't think. We do Fridays. But here we are, Monday.
Yeah,
brews.
we made it. We made it through Monday. Second question I asked all the guests. What are your top 3 games of all time? And it doesn't have to be like video games. It could be board games, sports, tabletop games. I think I said that twice.
Great question. I think the first thing that springs to mind and probably has a lot of nostalgia for me, and like you said, I video games haven't really been my thing. But if everybody remembers the Game Boy Color, so Super Mario World, I think that was the one.
Yes.
Anyways, I beat all the levels multiple times, and I never ever beat any other game in my entire video game in my entire life. You
peaked. You peaked at a young age.
And it was the Game Boy Colors didn't have light up screen, so you always had to play it in the light. So you just had to turn a light on or go outside and watch the screen. So that one, I'm really into board games now. As like an adult. Me and my partner, we play a game called Cathedral. He tries to get me to play chess, but I just never grasp it.
Yeah. Chess seems like a whole other
level,
whole other sport.
It's a lot of thinking ahead, like planning my moves ahead of time. And to plan, I don't know however many steps ahead is a bit tough for me, but yeah, board games, like right now we're super into Cathedral.
Cathedral. What kind of game is Cathedral?
It is a 2-player game, and the point of the game is to capture as much of the territory as you can. It's a really quick game. It can last like 5 to 10 minutes max, but you play three rounds. Right. And the main point of the game is to just capture as much territory. Cool. Yeah. Interesting. I actually have it. I think it's right behind you. Cool. All right. I can show you after. Yeah, I'll check it out after. That's cool. And that was super into that. That was 2. You have 1 more. And third, it's a toss-up between Australian rules football, I guess, and rugby. Ooh. It's very hard to decide.
I mean, those are three and a half.
3.5.
3.5 very like diverse games, right? You got a video game in Mario, you got a board game in Cathedral, and a sport or a physical sport in Aussie rules football / rugby, which are also kind of similar sports.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know what Aussie rules and rugby is, do you have like a two sentence
pitch? Well, they both involve tackling, contact sports. I mean, highest scoring team wins. Australian football is like a combination of soccer, rugby, and like Quidditch. It's like absolutely fucking crazy. There's like three places that you can score into, and it looks like Quidditch. 360-degree game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's wild.
Oh, I had no idea.
Kind of like soccer, in that you have your forwards, your mids, and your backs. It's wild, and you're like super free, less rules. Rugby is very disciplined. It's kind of like a battle, and it's very methodical. And you're like progressing and into phases, and so very two different styles of game, very high intensity. And I think that's why I like it. Very high intensity. Cool.
We'll dive into it more. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But first, we touch a little bit about your job. You're a families counselor for Maple Ridge in Metro Vancouver.
Yes.
Okay. What is that job like? Like a families counselor, I think at first hand, are you counseling the whole family? Do you sit them on a couch like this and talk to the whole family about what's going on, or what do you do day to day?
Yeah, no, thanks for asking. So in a nutshell, I work with families who have a child protection risk. So they have been referred to me by a social worker who has deemed that a child is being harmed in their family or at risk of being harmed. And then they connect me to the family to work with them to mitigate whatever the risk is. And that is like a whole kind of like breadth of issues that might be there. Whether I work with the whole family, I try to, but a lot of the times it's really doing a lot of one-on-one work with the parents and sometimes the kids. I really love working with the kids. And it's a lot of like building up psychoeducational skills. So maybe it's like communication skills or some positive parenting practices, like teaching psychoeducation, teaching them about like attachment, all these different kind of ideas that will really aid in the family development and the child's development, and just really make everybody like move from like surviving in the family to hopefully thriving. Doesn't always happen.
It's tricky. You just listed off like 100 different things, and you're supposed to teach them all that and navigate that.
It's it's a balancing act for sure. It's one of the ways I think that we support our families here in British Columbia, I lost my train of thought.
It's all good. No, it's like one of the ways you support, but it's not just like, making sure they're fed or making sure that they go to school on time. It's you're teaching them how to emotionally regulate, which is for those who don't know, emotional regulation is like when conflict arises, how do you keep your cool and get through that? Or if like something really great happens, how do you not go too wild with your celebration? Like emotional regulation is pretty it's like people don't talk about it much because it's assumed everyone knows how to do it, but a lot of I don't want to say bad things, a lot of things that happen that are undesirable come from emotional dysregulation.
I would 100% agree. I mean, when we think of like a child, like a toddler, and they're having like, what people will call like a tantrum or like a meltdown, that's just their little brains and bodies are just so overwhelmed with whatever's going on. And they just don't have the tools yet, the brain to be able to just calm themselves down. But you also see the same thing happen in adults all the time, right? Sure. Like when you see someone start like a bar fight or flip someone off or get in a really nasty fight with their partner or their own kid. So that is just the same thing that's happening in that little toddler's brain. and their body is happening in that adult that we think maybe should have the capacity. But I mean, I think it's very prevalent in our society that we all just struggle to do it. And it's a skill, so it needs to be practiced.
Yeah, no, totally. And we're not saying that like adults that have this are just toddlers in bigger bodies and they're dumb or something. No,
no, not at all. No,
it's whatever life circumstance or events happen, like didn't get them the ability to practice those skills, right? Yeah, so we're not calling them babies. But,
not at all. It's part of the human condition. I should have prefaced that. I think we all like are there. We've all been there. We've all had that fight with our friend or family member, and you're like, oh, why did I say that? That was not what I meant. But you're just really big emotions are coming up, and like I said, it's part of the human condition.
Yeah, sometimes it's tricky to navigate those emotions.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. And another thing is like, I guess when we see those like embarrassing videos on the internet of people having meltdowns in public, like that is a result of emotional dysregulation. Like either maybe they hit their limit or they don't have the right skills to, we don't know, but like more or less there. Right?
100%. Like, and I think there's a lot. I feel like you and I could go down this like rabbit hole.
It's all good.
So deep.
No, it's fine. Cause I feel like this, like when I learned about it, I don't know about you, when we went to school, when I learned about this concept, like it kind of like
blew my mind.
My mind exploded a little like the gift. Cause it's like, oh, it explains so much about why people act certain ways. Like most of the time people aren't being malicious. It's just the life circumstances leading up, like led them to this point, and it's all for survival as well. Like this, whatever behavior it is, got them to where they are now. So in their brain, in our like evolution monkey brains, like, oh, this worked, I'll do it again. So
exactly. And like you said, we develop these like strategies early on, and they keep working for us until they don't. And then, we probably hit adulthood and we start, more problems keep coming out of the way we've kind of like survived. Right. So like maybe we've had to like fight our way through things when we were little kids, and now you're an adult, and like, it's hard to fight through things because a lot more. We have consequences like with the legal system. We can't like maintain like a relationship when we're fighting. But anyways, those are, like you said, survival strategies, and our brains just adapt to that. And
totally. Yeah. So anyways, your job is to help these folks and families maybe gain some of that knowledge back, and through like your teaching, your experience, and your relationship building as well.
Relationship building, like having like compassion for people, like, teaching how to set boundaries. I don't know. It's a whole breadth of things. And like I said, there's lots of things that can harm a family and a child. Like the most prevalent, I would say, in our community, and probably general society here in North America, is like addiction, domestic violence. Those are probably, I'm not going to even say domestic, family violence. So it just doesn't have to be between like a male-female couple. It can be, family violence can be prevalent within any relationship in a family. And it is rampant.
Right.
Rampant.
Rampant is right. Yeah. But, but like, and that kind of domestic violence is happening because that's what got them to, or those folks to survive for so long. And it's working so far, but it's not good because it keeps the cycle of abuse, leading to maybe addiction. Like it keeps that cycle of violence going.
Yeah, lots of like coping strategies that maybe aren't the healthiest. On like just ways of resolving conflict that leave you feeling icky. That happens, in family violence situations. And, I think what we really need and want is to feel understood and to just be in harmony with the people in our lives.
Yeah.
I think my job in a nutshell is supporting people to just be in more harmony in their family. And that is like, we can spend like the whole day unpacking what that means to us, and like based on like what we've learned. And But yeah, that's what I do. And a lot of report writing, because when you're in this field, you have to record everything.
Yeah, a lot of data entry, admin work, I call it sometimes.
We're our own admin, basically.
I see.
As in, like, a lot of report writing, and like you said, admin, and just depending on who you work for and what organization you work for, depending on how things are set up. But there is a lot of like recording data, because most of our funding comes from like the government of BC.
Yeah.
We get grants, things like that, and all those kind of governing bodies require stats on like what we do, and they need everything to be recorded. And another part of my job is that we're very involved with the legal system, so everything that I document has to be court ready, and it can be used at any time. And so the social workers that are my counterparts and who I work with, they rely on my like observations, kind of like my not really assessments, but my observations. We'll keep it observations for their legal kind of work.
Wow.
So
it's like multidisciplinary. Yeah. You're literally doing everything.
Yeah. And so it was funny. I was talking to my coworker the other day, and I was like, Michelle, like, I don't think I have any transferable skills, because I was like thinking like, what are my next career steps? And then I'm like, wait, I'm sure I do.
There's so much in there. 100%. It's
just about like
crazy,
quantifying it, like, I guess, and making it like sound nice. But yeah, anyways, so it's a lot.
Yeah, no, it is a lot. and I want to pull up one thing you said is like a lot of your funding comes from the government. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize or forget that for these public service jobs, like the families you're working with aren't paying you any money. Like you're not selling them anything.
No.
It's that most of the time they're of lower socioeconomic status, so they don't have money to give. So a lot of the funding comes from government. So you end up getting like not really paid enough for the amount of work you do. You're wearing 5 different hats. You're getting paid for one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even just like scheduling people, I didn't realize how much brain power it takes up.
Yeah.
Because you have to like make things work. And also part of my role is, it's not like a typical, it's not like a clinical counseling role where, you would come to my office and, sit down, and it'd be very like regimented in that way. Mine is very like, there's a lot of outreach involved if need be. I'll go past the hour time that we have with the family, depending on what the needs are. Sometimes there might be like a crisis or something that we might need to attend to that we didn't plan for. So it's a lot of peaks and valleys, I think, in the job.
Totally.
Peaks and valleys.
Yeah. It's not consistent. It sounds like the day to day.
Yeah. It's not a typical 9 to 5. It's a 9 to 5 with a lot of spins. And
it's
like
a quote unquote 9 to 5. Yeah.
9 to 5 with like a bunch of like sparkles like thrown in and fireworks.
Yeah,
Can I swear in this podcast? I've almost dropped F-bombs and I stop myself every time.
Nah, I think it's fine. Yeah.
Just put in like a fun
swear.
bleep word in there.
You deserve to. You deserve it.
Thank you.
Okay. So we kind of went over the multi-pillared work life that you have.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add to about your work?
No, I could gab on and on, but that was the nutshell.
It's kind of the gist.
Cool job, great coworkers. Really shout out to my team. I did not have a good supporting team. I would not be able to do this job.
Awesome.
I need to be very well supported to do stuff like this.
Totally, 100%. And
what do you think? What's your experience?
Well, yeah, like I think I've had a tough job too, working with like kids that have like behavior issues that stem from other things, but so challenging that they had to be moved to an alt school, and it was a challenging school, but the team made it so worth it. And like, I think if I were to go back in time and work at that school again and I had the same team, I would do that for life. Like,
it's just, we're both like smiling, talking about our like teams.
Yeah.
Once you hit like a good group of kind of like-minded, compassionate people with similar values, it really does make a world of difference in work. So yay, yes.
Sweet. And I will add that I'm pretty sure the whole world thanks you for what you're doing.
Thanks.
No, 100%.
I'm getting all misty-eyed.
No, it's such an honorable job. It's not something that you fall into. You have to want to do it. So the fact that you stick with it, and even though it's challenging, you still go back. That's very, very honorable. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's really lovely to hear.
Yeah.
Really, thanks.
Yeah. And if you want to support Marlena, comment below. She'll see it.
Yeah.
Let's move on to, we finished your work life. How do you balance that work life? What do you do for self-care? And mostly, how does that self-care involve games? Like you talked about a little bit about board games, playing with your partner. What about sports and all that?
Oh my gosh,
it's a loaded question.
Yeah. No, it's a big question, but there's so many ways to go with it. I'll be honest, there are many points in the year where I will be like this, very yes. I'll get very overwhelmed, and I'll just not want to do anything. And then but when I pull myself out of it, going to just my own counseling is a really big thing.
Okay.
Just maintaining I don't do it all the time. Right now I'm in a period where I need to be doing it for myself. And it really does help. I can see it in the health of my relationships, like my personal relationships. So honestly, that's a rule right now. Every 2 weeks I see my counselor.
That's awesome.
Really great. And then me and my partner, same thing. We've also seen a counselor, and that really helps balance things out. And then games, sports. Wow. I've learned in the last couple of years, I've really learned how important, especially high intensity sports or games, helps calm my brain and really regulate it.
Sure, yeah.
I have a very difficult time focusing and keeping on task, and I will procrastinate it a lot on different tasks in all areas of my life. And I just had a mental health clinician just at work point out to me, they're oh, you might, the sports you play probably really helps regulate your brain. Oh,
interesting. So the sports you play being Aussie rules football and rugby, what about it helps regulate your brain?
It's I think the ability I am fully immersed and focused and flowing. There's nothing else on my brain when whether I'm at practice or when I'm at a game, and after, the kind of relief and the calm I feel is just tenfold. And compared to years maybe or seasons where I haven't played because I've taken a break from injury or whatever, just the quality of my life goes down.
So I'm hearing the physical exertion of it all.
It's something,
and the escapism almost as well.
Yeah, it could be that. I think it definitely probably maybe it's an escape in some regards. Big body movements is how my brain works.
Cool.
I'm not I really have to put in lots of effort for even report writing. I can produce something very well, but it takes a lot of mental energy for me to do it. So maybe it takes you 2 hours. It'll take me 3 or 4 to write the same level of work.
Yeah.
And then when I'm using my body, when I'm fucking chopping wood or something or cooking, I'm just moving around and just really free. I don't know if cooking's a game, but if it is, I love it. I love playing it.
Your prize at the end is food.
I love playing it. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So I've really learned in the last couple of years that I need a way for my body to just have really big movements. It's when my brain, I think, is at its sharpest. And like I said, the intensity of the game, you're constantly running away from somebody, chasing someone down, trying to figure out what to do with your ball next. And it's all just happening so fast. And I love the adrenaline behind it.
Right.
I love it. And I love how powerful I feel. yeah, I think those are the biggest things. I feel very powerful and I feel very confident and like competent.
Wow.
And, like, I feel
Okay.
like badass. And I'm just so calm after. I don't think I've ever gotten in a fight with anybody after I've played a sport. Yeah.
Do you feel like it's because you're too tired to, or it's like you actually feel a sense of calm?
I feel like relief. I feel relieved. Like I feel like all is right in the world. I feel, I don't know, when you like take a really deep breath and you've maybe been a bit worried and finally whatever happened is like the problem solved.
Yeah.
I just feel like a big breath.
Cool.
It's just inside.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
it sounds like
just getting very passionate about my sports here.
No, it's all good. This is the point. This is the point of this podcast. We want to explore like why people choose to play games, right? And play sports in their life. Sounds like your life and your work is very stressful. Well, your work is very stressful. And like the physical exertion of getting tackled, trying not to get tackled, like just running down a field as hard as you can, like that is like a really good counter to the stressful day-to-day you have dealing with
the mental,
with all the different things you do at work. Yeah.
And I played those sports like when we were in school together, like I was playing rugby as well. And I think it was very, very important for me to be doing it at that time as well. There's just so much mental stress probably. And
totally.
Just, I don't know, helps me stay focused. I look forward to it. It's so good. I was actually thinking when we were talking about fast movements, I thought of a card game that I really like. That's really fast.
Go for it.
I think it's called Dutch Blitz.
I think I've heard of it. Yeah. It's Blitz or Dutch Blitz.
Dutch Blitz. I can't remember. We'll have to look it up.
Is the box green with like two characters on it?
Yeah. Like the Dutch characters or whatever, like a boy and a girl. And it's like the green, yellow, blue, orange.
Yes. I'll throw a picture up on the video version if I remember.
I go ham for that game. I just lent it to my brother and his partner. But me and my partner, he does not like to play it because it's like just too fast, but I love it.
So you like the speed and the competitiveness and the...
I think so, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And can I comment on just my partner, what the differences I noticed between us?
Sure.
Or does it make sense? Or
no, that's totally fine. Like different people do different things or different people enjoy different things. So go for it.
Yeah, his sports are very almost slow pace. Like he loves mountaineering and he loves rock climbing. Like I'll do rock climbing, but I'm not like, this is my jam. And same thing, I'll go hiking, but it's so slow sometimes. And I'm just like, I need to like go move fast.
Yeah.
And he loves chess and he loves like the slow paced think ahead games. And I'm just like, fast. I gotta go fast. I gotta like hit something. I gotta run.
Be faster.
I think if I was, sorry, go on.
No. I mean, opposites attract. So that's
maybe,
but no, that's interesting. Like he finds the same joy that you find, but his is more slow and methodical.
He's very methodical, And I don't want to speak for him because I'm sure he'd have lots to say and stuff. But is a big difference I've noticed between us. I also feel if I was a bit younger, I would have tried like parkouring or something. I feel like I would have been so good at
Ultimate Ninja Warrior or whatever on TV.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That's fascinating. The high speed competitive, act fast, think later kind of games are the ones that you want.
Another thing that I seem very drawn to is wrestling. I wish
like Olympic wrestling. Or you mean like WWE?
Yeah. Actually, that'd be kind of cool if I had like a WWE stint. Yeah. That'd be cool.
I can see your intro. Maybe we can make one day.
No, Olympic wrestling, but WWE, maybe, I feel like when I'm retiring, maybe I'll do like an old lady stint.
Ooh, yeah.
But wrestling, something about it just seems so cool to me, that a fact that I could probably do it blind and just use my arms and my legs and like big, like I said, big body movements. I have a couple of friends that did it in high school and in their young adulthood. And I'm like, damn, like I wish I was introduced to all these types of sports when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I wonder what I would be with that now.
Well, so. Why don't you like I feel like I've seen adults take on judo or taekwondo, the whatever the competitive one is.
Yeah. I think it's judo.
Yeah, and like adults, like Mark Zuckerberg recently posted a video of him winning a judo tournament or something.
That's
so it's
cool.
never too late, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get into these like competitive head-to-head high contact sports because you're going to be matched up with someone your age and size anyways.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to be against the 17-year-olds that are flexible still.
Oh my gosh. It was funny. Recently I was with my physio and he's like, I'm like, is this normal? Like this tightness in my like legs and stuff. And he's like, well, yeah, you're like 31 now and
damn.
Thanks.
I'm almost there.
But he's like, your body changes and you also sit a lot for your job now. And he's like, all that like plays into it. So I'm not as flexible and I don't recover as well as I used to. I think COVID also really screwed that up because I was really at my peak right before COVID in 2020, like physically, like very athletic. I was training for a competition and then COVID hit and then, everyone went into their lowest.
The COVID 15, COVID 30. Like everyone just gained weight.
Gained weight. The valleys hit their lowest valley.
Yeah.
And then,
I'm still down there. I got to get out too.
And then at the same time, I also hit 30.
Yeah.
In that time, so not only did we all got a little bit squishier and less mobile. Yeah. But I also hit the 30 mark time. So it's like
growing up. That's
but it's good. It's
you
good.
Leveled up. You leveled up.
It's cool. Figuring out what my body needs right now. So yeah, I love it.
That's a really interesting point you bring up because all those high contact sports, you are still like getting old and your physical ability like changes. Do you see yourself still playing these high contact physical sports as you get older and older and your job, I don't know, stays just as stressful? Have you ever thought about that?
I think about it a lot. All the time. It's, obviously in case people like don't know, any kind of contact sport you play, there's like huge risk of concussions.
Right.
So you really have to take that into consideration. And I've had a few bumps to my head, but nothing ever, severely diagnosed as a concussion, but you feel it. You're like not as quite, you're a little bit loopy for the rest of the day and you're like, okay. But then when you're young, you just jump right back in and you don't take the time. Now, if I get bumped or something, I'm like, I'm not coming back for like a month, like a few weeks, because you need a lot of time. And then if people don't know this about concussions, when you get your first concussion, anything subsequent after that is just it's like tenfold worse. So even if it's like a little one, but the impact it has on your brain can be paramount. And so I think about it all the time. But just the feeling that I get from playing the sports, I haven't found a different outlet than what I feel.
Okay.
With those two sports. Oh, so
fair enough.
Although a new friend of mine, she plays Gaelic football. I don't know if you heard of that.
No, what's Gaelic football?
So so my understanding is it's pretty much like Australian football, except the Irish play it.
Okay. Other side of the world.
But there's no contact. You can't tackle.
Okay.
But similar, I'm pretty sure it's similar rules, but if anyone out there is listening and they know the difference between the two, comment below, I guess.
Sure, comment below.
But so that was introduced. I've always known about it, but I never, and then my friend was like, oh yeah, my team is like playing over the summer, and they
Interesting.
practice on Tuesday nights. And I was like, maybe I'll come out and try it out.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be my thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of hitting those similar things like high intense, you're getting chased, but it's kind of minimizing the amount of crashing on your head, which is
and on the body.
And on body.
My gosh. I didn't play rugby this fall and winter, and it was really nice not to have like wake up with aches every day because
new bruises.
Yeah, your whole body's just like suffering. And you know, everyone when you're younger, you're like, oh, it's really cool, like, oh, look at this big bruise I have. And then when you hit a certain point, you're like, this is so bad, like I can't have this. This is impacting my day. I can't sit at work.
Yeah, truly, it's affecting other parts of your life. That's not just I don't know, being a student and hanging out with your friends.
Totally. And so, I do. I think about it all the time. My partner is probably really sick of me like humming and hawing about it. I said, I was like, didn't really want to go back to rugby next year, but then I saw my teammates, they made it to the finals this year, and I went. Congrats. Yeah. So, we didn't make it. We lost by like a couple points. It was really sad. Unlucky. They worked so hard to make it to the finals, but watching it, I just had such bad FOMO.
Yeah, FOMO. It
was really, really tough, and I don't know. But I'm actually going away this weekend to Ontario. Yeah. To play in the Canadian Nationals for Australian football. Yeah.
Whoa, what's that about? What's a big bomb to drop?
Sorry.
Yeah. And how do we support you and your team?
Nothing, just pray, or whatever form of higher power you believe in. Just send good vibes my way so that I don't get injured.
Send good vibes to Ontario?
To Ontario, yeah. To Ontario. I'm playing in Hamilton, Ontario. And if you're out in Ontario, we'll be playing in Hamilton. And it's going to take place over Saturday, Sunday. So the BC team that I play with for the Burnaby Eagles, it's the only women's team in BC. So our main competitors are in like Alberta and the States. So we play like against San Francisco, Seattle, which is really cool. And so we are combining with the Calgary team. Oh, okay. The Calgary Kookaburras.
Kookaburras and the Eagles.
Kookaburras and the Eagles. Fly, baby, fly.
Nice.
So, and we have really good relationships with that team, and we always play against them, and it's a nasty match anytime we play against each other. But now we're joining forces because we couldn't send a full team from BC. And so, we're going to join up with Calgary. And
nice. Team up,
and hopefully we get
Western Canada team up, man. West Coast, West Coast.
Hopefully we win and get the cup. So we're really excited.
And how can people follow along if you win or lose?
It is, I would say, I can't think of the handle, but can we post something after and like show notes or something?
Yeah, we'll put it in the notes below, how to follow the team going on. Yeah. I think this episode will come out before the weekend, maybe on Friday. So
that would be really, really cool. But you can follow, you know what, Burnaby Eagles on Instagram at Burnaby Eagles. If any men or women are wanting to try out Australian football, it's really fun. It's not as, I think, crazy as rugby. I feel like everyone gets injured in rugby. Yeah. People get injured in AFL. Maybe I'm lying. But anyways, follow us.
Define injure, right?
Yeah.
A bruise, that's whatever.
So we have a men's and a women's team, Burnaby Eagles. And it's really great. We like sometimes train with the men, and it's a really big like community. We like beer. So we always drink beer after practice and after games on Saturdays.
Sounds like a good time, actually.
Yeah. So
no, that's awesome.
So anyways, the women Burnaby Eagles, we're going to play in the Canadian Nationals this weekend in Ontario. May 12th. No, May 13th, 14th.
Let's see, today. Quick calendar. May 13th and 14th, I think. Yeah.
13th,
this weekend, 14th. Saturday and Sunday in Ontario.
Hamilton, Ontario.
Definitely check it out.
I'm pretty sure it's televised, but
that'd be exciting.
Yeah. So
if there's a way to watch, we'll post it below.
We'll do it.
Replay. But no, that's awesome. So it sounds like when we were talking about your sports, I think people assumed like recreationally, like once a week, but you're playing competitively, which is a whole other layer. And you're the best of the best to be able to, of BC, to be able to go represent like Burnaby, BC in Ontario.
Yeah, we have a couple girls that have made the Canadian national team.
Heck yeah.
So me and a few close friends from BC, we got picked to play in the 2020 International Cup in Australia.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But obviously COVID completely kiboshed that for us.
Yeah.
So we've just been waiting for the last couple years since 2020 for the next International Cup. We are hoping next year. And yeah, we have some fun competitions coming up this summer.
That's awesome.
In the US. So hopefully we get drafted again for the next cup. So
that's awesome.
That's what we're looking forward to.
If people want to follow along, is there a website they can check out?
Canadian Canada AFL Canada, and you can find a team near you. So Canada, awesome. AFL Canada.
We'll link it below.
Yeah, whether you're in BC, Alberta, Ontario, pretty sure Manitoba has a team. Nova Scotia, I know, has a team.
Mm-hmm.
Nova Scotia? Yes. Montreal, Quebec has all over Canada.
It sounds like. Okay, cool. No, that's awesome. So we're coming up on the end of our episode here. I want to ask you like 2, maybe 3 more questions. One is about growing up. When you are growing up, what game or sport do you think had the biggest impact on your life?
I don't know if this is it's not a sport, but swimming.
Okay, I feel like that's a sport. Yeah,
swimming, like hands down. That's the first memory that just popped into my head.
Fair enough. Why swimming? Like, did you swim competitively or just recreationally?
No, I always wanted to swim competitively, but I think it was a financial restriction for my parents. Both my parents are immigrants, and they got me into community swimming lessons. I was really good at it, and I loved it, and I still love the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the water. I go do cold dips like every couple weeks at Sassamat Lake here in Coquitlam.
Yeah. I like doing that too, actually. I haven't been there in a while. I love
it. I'll ride my bike if it's nice weather, and I'll go and I'll dip and I'll ride back. And then in the winter, same thing. I'll just go in and
nice.
Anyways, swimming.
Swimming is underrated, I feel. I think so many people are turned off by it because it's like, oh, I got to change into an outfit. I'm going to be awkward in the change room for a bit, but it's like a full body sport. So it hits everything. You get endurance from holding your breath. I don't know if this is a plus, but you're not sweaty all the time, even though you're all wet.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally. Yeah. And it led me to lifeguarding, and I lifeguarded for 12 years. Nice. I'm actually just recertifying everything right now so I can go back and start lifeguarding at the pool down the street for me because I really love it. I miss it.
Nicely done. Cool. That was a great answer. All right. I have 2 more questions for you. If you were to design your ideal sport, like you can totally rip off Aussie rules football as well. Maybe you can add something to it or take out something. What sport would it be that is like your dream sport or game?
Oh my God, that's a really tough question.
I had to tweak it for you because I know you're not a gamer as much as my other guests.
I don't. Oh my gosh, sorry, that is a stumper. Okay. I don't know. I want my first thought is something to do with like art and like painting.
Oh no. Why don't we go there? Like what
Sure.
Yeah, what kind of activity is that?
I recently started doing watercolor painting.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And I don't know, that's the thing. I also feel very good when I'm just kind of free doodling and free flowing with that. And I think our society is really missing a lot of art and games for our young people.
Oh, what do you mean by that? Art and games?
I think I believe we all need to feel a sense of mastery and like competency, and we need like a healthy escape. And I don't know, any kind of game or program that is low barrier and allows for some kind of expression.
Okay.
Whether it's through painting or just being free at the swimming pool.
Okay.
know?
So like almost a no rules kind of activity.
Yeah. Just for freedom of expression.
Yeah.
Or if you're playing a sport, like you just feel like someone believes in you and you feel a sense of mastery. I think I've heard a lot of people have like not so good experiences in organized sports when they were kids because like maybe whoever the coach or the mentor maybe didn't have empathy or compassion, or that the emotional regulation skills kind of needed to kind of guide you through. I definitely had that in high school. Where I definitely remember it, but I also remember like the coaches that were really good and really like there for me and saw me, and like I remember them very good light. Sorry, there's like a multi. I don't know what
we
sport
jumped a little bit, but I kind of hear what you're saying. Like okay, I thought it was a really great answer because my question originally was, give me a set of rules that you think would make a good game. But instead, what you told me was like, we need a place where there is little to no rules that is all about self-expression, like a place that's unstructured but also safe to share whoever you are, right?
That's guided by some really cool, truly safe adults who just celebrate the shit out of you and whatever it is whatever's your jam. As a little person, I'm getting all misty-eyed.
It's all good.
I just love that for people and for kids. That's what I want to see. I want to see young people just be free and to be celebrated for who they are.
That's very beautiful.
Thank you.
That is worth getting misty-eyed over.
CYC.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Last question for you.
Okay.
And we'll end off on that beautiful note. But what is your one piece of wisdom to leave with the world? It's okay. Take your time.
I don't know. Honestly, if we can bring it back to the self-regulation piece.
Yeah.
If we can take the time to really figure out, if you can take the time to figure out what your body needs and practice it, I think we could have a more like harmonious place. So whether that be you need to play your board games with friends, or because it makes you feel calm and safe, or you need to play some kind of crazy sport, just do it. Figure out what your body needs. So
figure out what your body, your brain, your emotions need to stay calm, regulated, to be able to be harmonious with all the other people,
with everybody around you.
Yeah. Cool. That was very beautiful.
Yay.
Cool. We'll close out this episode here. Thank you, Marlena, for joining on this first couch podcast.
This is really cool. Thanks for having me. This was so great.
No problem.
I had so much fun. I feel like we always have good conversations.
That's
all
true.
The time. Yeah.
And now it's immortalized forever for the internet. If you liked what you heard, you liked what you saw, leave a comment below. Any comment works. We really appreciate it here at the podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe. If you're listening to this on podcasts, make sure to rate it 5 stars and give a follow. You can find me at SamsonXP on all the socials. You can find the podcast at Grow Up Level Up on all the socials. Marlena, is there anyone or anything you want to shout out? No. AFL Canada.
AFL Canada, please.
Yeah.
It's a really fun sport, and we're always welcoming new players to join, men or women. If you're like retiring from an old sport and you're like, hey, I want to try a new sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, AFL Canada, or I play for the Burnaby Eagles, and it's really flipping cool.
Cool. That sounds good. So AFL Canada, it sounds like a really great organization to hang out with and to play for. So that's it for this week. We hope to see you next time on Grow Up, Level Up. And it has been our pleasure to serve you.
Thanks, Samson.
Ooh.
Yeah.